Hello, welcome back to RetroBreak. Today I'm on my way to the London gaming market. Or that's what I would have said this time of year, but unfortunately, as I'm sure you all know, here in the UK we're still very much in lockdown. So I decided instead for this video to support some of my favourite stalls and sellers from the gaming markets that I've been to over the years by buying some games from their online stores and taking a look at their stores and then showing you all of the amazing things that I picked up from their websites. I got some really cool stuff and I can't wait to get into it, but before I do, I just want to say a huge thank you to every single person who's watched my videos recently. January was the best month ever that I've ever had on YouTube, and it's all thanks to you guys. I want to give a very special thank you to 3 people in particular that became Patreon supporters last month. They are Jake Thompson, Anthony Lavelle and Thomas York. So thank you, you 3, so much. And if anyone wants to go and join them, there's a link in the description. So with that said, let's take a look at some of my favourite sellers' online stores and take a look at all the amazing games that I picked up from them. Let's get started. So I set myself a price limit of £300 to spend across the 5 stores that I've got here, as well as a few that I bought off my friend on Twitter as well, and I'll show them at the end of the video. So the first store that we're going to take a look at is one called Gold Saucer Games, and I picked up 3 things from them. Let's just have a look. Shop games, let's see what we got here. You sort by latest, yeah, let's go with that. Got a lot of Super Famicom games. Okay, there's 62 pages to get through. I like the wide variety of games they've got. Wow, I didn't expect to see that. I was just looking at that thinking that looks a bit weird. Don't recognise that logo. This is the competition cart. Wow, a genuine one as well. That's very cool to see. Not that I'm going to get it, but wow, that's really unexpected. My god, I wonder where they got that from. So I hope you enjoyed that little look around their website there, and if you did enjoy that and you want to see my look around all of the websites, I've actually uploaded the full hour-long video on Patreon, and any tier can actually go and watch that right now. And I'm looking to get YouTube membership sorted out in the near future as well when I hit 10,000 subs, so maybe you'll be able to watch it on there soon. Anyway, let's take a look at the 3 games that I got from that shop. I managed to play 2 of them. Unfortunately, I don't have the NES plugged in or able to capture from at the minute, so I haven't had a chance to play this one just yet. This one is called Crackout, and as far as I can tell it looks like a really interesting Breakout clone. But the 2 that I did play, one of them's pretty good and one of them's pretty bad, so I guess let's get the bad one out of the way first. So this is Godzilla, and I'm quite happy that I got it because it is a UKV Game Boy game, and as you can see behind me here I've got loads of Game Boy games and they're all UKV, so I was very happy to get this one for the collection. I don't think it was worth £15 though. I played the game for maybe half an hour and I just couldn't get the hang of it at all, and I had a look online and I know a lot of other people don't really enjoy this game either. So I can't really say much good about Godzilla, but thankfully this one here called Scars for the N64 is a lot better. This one is a battle racing game. It kind of reminds me of the game Grip that I've got for the Xbox One, so if you like that sort of gritty, realistic driving game that's kind of like Mario Kart but a lot more like action oriented, then it's a pretty good game. I did quite enjoy this one. And now the second shop we're looking at is one called Console Passion, and I once again picked up 3 different games from there, so let's go and take a look at their site. Let's see if they've got anything interesting. Let's see if they have any good Sega Saturn stuff. Okay, that's a bit of an interesting name. 6th Inch My Darling, Sega Saturn. There's a load of games for the Japanese Sega Saturn that I don't really know a lot about, but I really want to try. I really want to try and learn more about the Japanese Sega Saturn. It's something that I focused on last year when I went to Japan. I don't think I've got this one. So for 12 quid, yeah, that's going in the cart. And the 3 games that I picked up from there were... I'm going to start with this first one because they actually sent me the wrong game here, but I had to look online and they're both roughly the same price, so I'm not too disappointed. The game that I actually intended to buy was Star Soldier, but they actually sent me Star Luster instead, which is an easy mistake, I suppose. But there's a few things that I really like about this. For one, of course, I love the Famicom packaging. Just look at that lovely little cartridge and the really nice cardboard box. with the instructions of course, but there was one thing in here that really caught my eye, and I've never seen any game do this before. Let me know if you know of any other Famicom games that do this. It actually came with some stickers, and if I focus on that there, you can see that these stickers actually peel off, and then they're supposed to go on the top of the cart like that, so you can actually see what game it is when it's on the shelf. So I thought that was a really nice little thing. Of course I'm not going to do it because these stickers are like 30 years old and I don't want to peel them off. But either way, I just thought it was something really cool. The game itself though, I'm not too keen on. I played it for a little bit and it seems like a really basic sort of into the screen game that was trying to be Star Wars, but it's really not. So as for the other two games, these are two games for the PC Engine. We have one of the Heberekes games, Heberekes Popoitto, I think this one's called, and this one's basically a Puyo Puyo style game. I do enjoy it, but it's extremely difficult. I'm really bad at it. As you can see from this footage that I've got over the video now, I really tried to get past the first stage and I couldn't even do that. I don't know why I was struggling so much. So maybe I'll give this one another go in the future, and practice makes perfect, so I do love my puzzle games, so I'm definitely going to give it another go soon. And a game that I found a lot easier, and it's actually a really interesting puzzle game. This one's called Splash Lake, and this one, I've never played anything like it before. It's basically a top-down game where you're going across this grid and you play as this little duck here, and you can peck away at the platforms, and when you peck once, it shows up like the platform's about to break, and then you peck somewhere else, and in between those two bits that you pecked, the floor actually comes falling down, and any enemies that were walking across it just get killed, and you have to try and take out all the enemies in the stage before you move on to the next one. I think it's a really cool idea and it works really well, and it's definitely a hidden gem for the system. I've never heard anyone talking about this before. So if you've got a PC Engine and you want a really fun puzzle game, highly recommend Splash Lake. And this next game here is from an eBay store called House of Shadaloo, and these were definitely some of my favourite sellers from previous retro markets. This was probably my favourite store at the event. As you can see while I'm flicking through these carts here, they have little stickers on them with screenshots, and I just thought that was a brilliant idea, because obviously all these games here are the Japanese games and not a lot of people would actually know what they are. So I spoke to the guy and told him it was a good idea, and he said originally he'd only planned to do it on the Super Famicom carts themselves, but then he got a bit carried away and decided to put stickers on every single game that he was selling, and it must have just taken forever because he even wrote a little bit of a description about each game as well. So props to him. Very impressed by this stall, and I've actually got his business card right here. It's called the House of Shadaloo, and actually, believe it or not, when I bought this game on eBay, I got a message on eBay the day after by the store saying that they recognised my avatar on PayPal from the video that I did of the London gaming market last year. So that is just really cool, and thank you so much for recognising me. And I know I said a lot of really good things about your stall, and honestly I can say exactly the same things about your eBay shop as well. Like I said in that video way back in 2019 now, the fact that you actually include a description of every game along with the English title and a screenshot I think is absolutely fantastic, and that's something that a lot more sellers of retro Japanese games should really try and do. I just love that. The listings on eBay were really clear and you knew exactly what you were buying. Already finding a few cool things, some PC Engine games that I've been interested in for a while. Pumping World, I've got that, but I've only got the disc, I haven't got the box. What is that game? I'm going to look this up and find out what this game actually is. Oh my god, those sprites are huge. That's the first thing I noticed. Yeah, let's go for it. So this one, let me just check the label there. This one is called Genpei Toumaden, and there's two of these games. I picked this one up here, which is the first game, I believe. And there's two of them, and it's actually a really interesting game. It's basically 3 different gameplay styles in one. So you have a top-down gauntlet style section where you're walking around, killing enemies and trying to find your way to the end of the maze. And then there's side-scrolling platforming sections, and then there's a really cool bit, which is kind of like a beat-em-up, but like a side-scrolling beat-em-up, but the sprites are huge, which is really impressive to see coming from the PC Engine. So fantastic game, and a fantastic shop that I bought it from as well. Now, quite possibly saving the best till last, If you've ever seen any of my retro market tours, you'll always know that I go straight to a stall called Gameboy Shack. They really are one of my favourites. They always have a fantastic selection of Game Boy games. I picked up 2 games for the original Game Boy, 1 for the Game Boy Color and 2 for the Game Boy Advance. So let's take a look at their store and then let's come back here and see what I got from them. This is actually where I bought these wonky games from, if you remember that episode a while ago. That was so fun. Unfortunately, I had a look on here yesterday and they're all sold out, so they won't be getting any more of them for this video, unfortunately, because I did really enjoy that. Let's look at original Game Boy games. Mercenary Force, that's a good game. If anyone's looking for a quirky game on the original Game Boy to play, that is really good. So I have Nemesis, but I don't have Nemesis 2. Return of the Hero. Yeah, go on, I'll put that in the basket. Yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. That's a good set of games there. And so the games I got from them are Gadget Racer, which apparently was a mix of Pokemon and Mario Kart. I don't quite get where the Pokemon bit comes from, but it's part of a long-running series of Nintendo racing games called Churro Q. I believe that's what they're called. This one, from what I've played so far, seems really fun. I love the top-down Mode 7 graphics. The gameplay is really nice. And there was already a save file on this, so I ended up playing someone else's save, but I'd love to go back, start it from scratch and go through the game by myself, because it does seem like there's a really good kind of progression system unlocking all the different stages and all the different karts. So that one is called Gadget Racers. I really enjoyed that. The next one we've got here is Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed. And honestly, I have to say, although I do enjoy it when Game Boy Advance games try and be 3D, this one is just a blocky mess. Have a look at this gameplay. I could barely see where I was going. It was that bad. I don't think I've ever played a GBA game where the 3D is that blocky. I mean, it's impressive, and it's cool if you're playing it on something like a Game Boy Micro, but I was playing it on my 55-inch 4K TV, and the pixels were like the size of the Game Boy Micro screen per pixel. It was really that bad. But either way, I love the Need for Speed series, and I just picked that one up because eventually I want to try and get all of the handheld games in the Need for Speed series. Now, this next one is called Micro Maniacs, and when I put on Twitter that I bought this game, a load of people actually told me they loved playing this game on the PS1 back in the day. I enjoyed what I played of the Game Boy Color one, but I've never played the PS1 game before, so let me know down in the comments below if you think I should check out the PS1 game to go along with this. I did quite enjoy it. And definitely saving the best 2 till last here. These are Nemesis 2, Return of the Hero, and Rodland. I think both of these games need no introduction. Rodland recently got a re-release on the Switch, the full arcade version, and I picked that up when it came out, and I really wanted to see what the Game Boy version looked and played like, and I have to say, it's a fantastic conversion of the arcade game. Really enjoyed playing this. And the last one here, Nemesis 2. This is a fantastic shooter, and it really pushes the Game Boy to its absolute limits. I'm always blown away by what Konami managed to do on the 8 and 16-bit systems, and this game is no exception. Really, really enjoyed that. And I've got 3 more games to show, and although I didn't actually go to a store to buy these, I am including them in this video because these games are from my friend Kwang from Asobi Tech, and he was at the last London gaming market, and I did visit his stall there, so have a little bit of a look at what his stall was like back then a few years ago, and fingers crossed if we ever get to go back to gaming markets, he will make a return and you can all go and check his store out. And he had a really cool stall as well with some PC Engine games, a whole load of Vita games there, and I guess just some random games from his collection as well. There's Nintendogs, Smash TV for the NES, but there was one thing that I didn't have, which I think you might see in this footage, or I might have already picked it up by now. I can't remember whether I filmed this before or after. Right, so I picked up 3 PC Engine games off him. They were fairly expensive, but there were 3 that I really wanted, and he did a really good price for the 3 of them. So the first one I've got here is KIKI KAIKAI, also known as Pocky and Rocky outside of Japan, I believe. This was the first game in the series. It's an arcade conversion to the PC Engine, and if you guys are aware of the PC Engine, it's a fantastic console and it's got loads of really great arcade conversions, and this game is no exception. I absolutely loved playing through this when I got it through the post the other day. It's a really fun top-down kind of action RPG shooting game. It's very much a shooter though, and it works really well on the PC Engine, and it's just a really cute game as well, and I would love to get the other games in the series. And the next two here, two more shooters for the PC Engine. We've got SPRIGGAN Mark II, which is an amazing shooter by Compile. There's one thing that I don't like about this game though, and that's the fact that when you're playing the game, it keeps stopping to go through all these really long cutscenes that are completely in Japanese, and I've got no idea what's going on. But when it gets to the actual action, it's a really fun game, and I do love the way that the cutscenes look, and if I understood Japanese, I'm sure I would enjoy it a lot more. And I do really enjoy the game, and I would really like to get SPRIGGAN 1 for the PC Engine as well, because I hear that's even better. And the final game that I got from Kwang, and the final game that I'm going to be showing in this episode, is Sidearms Special. And this is another arcade conversion, but along with the arcade conversion is a completely separate game on the disc that's an exclusive for the PC Engine as far as I'm aware. So it includes Sidearms Original, and it also has a second game mode which I thought had a fantastically funny name. It's actually called Before Christ, and I have no idea why that is, but that's the PC Engine original version of the game, and I just have to show this here as well. So that is the cover of the game itself that comes in here, but look how this opens up. I love it when games do this. Instead of like an instruction manual, it's kind of got this arcade style flyer where it shows you all of the different weapons and all of the different stages, and then on the back as well it's got some more like instructions on how to play the game. I just thought that was really cool, and considering this game is like over 30 years old, the fact that this is in immaculate condition really goes to show just how well the Japanese look after their games, and how well Kwang looked after it when it came into his possession as well. And I will do my best to look after it as well as those guys did. So that's it for this episode. I really hope you enjoyed taking a look at all of these amazing games that I picked up from all of these amazing sellers. Go and check out all of their shops. I will put links in the description so you can go and do a bit of shopping yourselves and show them all your support when we can't go to conventions in person. I really do hope that we get to go back to conventions by the end of the year, and I will definitely be doing tours of the events if they ever do happen again. So thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe, please leave a comment down below what you thought about it, and of course I will see you all next week for the next episode. Goodbye!